Today we have one of our all-time dream motorcycles. One of the most exciting things to have happened to this channel in its history. Alex and I actually bought this Motocompo for ourselves. This is our bike, and I brought along Tommy, who's the master of gadgets and gizmos, to dive into some of the craziness with this little motorcycle.
Now, I have never seen anything like this. This tiny little square is about the size of a Birdie's Mountain Dog. Blaze, can you come here? Check this out. So here's my Birdie's Mountain Dog. Come here. And you can see he's just about the same size as this foldable bike.
He has more ground clearance, but he's a little bit shorter. So this bike is about 9.4 inches wide. It's 99 pounds wet. So you can very easily pick it up and load it into something. These were made from 1981 to 1983. They made about 53,000 of them, and it was originally an option for a car called the Honda City, which is a little hatchback. Wow. And you could get these bikes, you could put it in the back of the little hatchback, strap it down, so this was your last mile transport. It's the way that you got from where you could park your car to your next further stop in the city.
Unreal.
And then you could fold it up. It's pretty cool. It was about a $340 option back in the day.
That's wild. So let me do a quick test because I have no strength at all. So if I were to, for example, have my little hatchback and I wanted to deploy the motorcycle, you got 4 grab handles on the sides, and then you just lift up.
Oh, look at that. Lifting with the legs. Good job, Tom.
Now let's do a test. Blazy, come here. Let's see what's heavier, the Birdie's Mountain Dog or the Motocompo.
They're probably pretty comparable.
I'd say, just judging off of feel, they're about the same.
Yeah, well, and he might even be 4-stroke, so.
He's 97 pounds, so roughly the same. Now, the whole purpose of this was to fold up, and this is a folded position. Right?
Yeah, so this is it as you would transport it. Tommy hasn't actually seen it yet unfolded, so right on top here, there's a little spot for you to stick your key in.
Want to get it close up there, Alex?
So that you can unlock this top case. So all of the internals here are protected when you go to park it or transport it. Then you can fold this guy up.
Wow.
Look at that. Handlebar pops right into place. You tighten it with a little knob on top.
Look at that. So unlike a conventional motorcycle where each side of the handlebars are connected up here at the top by the grips, on the Motocompo they fold up and down, and it even has a deployable mirror.
Yes, it does.
Look at that. Now, Case, was this designed to be a street legal unit, or was this meant for like private areas?
You know, it's got turn signals, it's got a horn, it's got a spot for a little license plate. It's got everything that we need to make it legal.
So let's take a look at some of the controls, Case. So obviously we have this little padded seat, and show me how that folds in and out.
Yeah, so you can't really fold it down with this cover in place, but you have this little tab here that you use to push it back into the bike.
Okay.
Surprisingly easy to fold and unfold this motorcycle. I mean, this is only like day 3 that I've even interacted with this bike, and I feel like I have that process decently down.
And then it looks like you got the pegs that fold down from the side. Now, one thing which is cool about this is, it's got elements of a motorcycle and a scooter, right? So you don't have a pass-through for your legs like a typical scooter.
Yeah, it's a scooter.
But then all the mechanicals are shielded behind this composite bodywork.
This wonderfully 80s bodywork.
But what's nice about that, Case, is like, whereas a typical motorcycle, sure, you could probably pick it up, but you'd be worried about getting your jeans oily. This hides all of the oily bits behind the plastic.
It's not going to oil your jeans, Tommy.
And what's crazy about this, too, is you have a full complement of controls here. So walk me through what we have. So there's a throttle on the right here?
So many things, yeah. So obviously your throttle, your, front brake.
Yep.
Rear brake. And actually, your rear brake has a parking brake.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Look at that.
It does indeed have a parking brake. Headlights on, off, and listen to this, Tommy.
Yep. It's got turn signals.
But the noise that they make.
It's fantastic. It's got a battery in it then too, right? If it's the turn signals. Horn. So you got a horn. And then on the right grip
the world's most incredible speedometer. It's got this very 80s grid pattern to it, and that's actually an illuminated speedometer. So at night when the bike is running, you've got some light in there. I also think that the taillight setup on this bike and turn signals back here are crazy looking because they almost look like a car light and turn signals, the way that they're integrated into bodywork.
Look at that. So some things which I'm immediately noticing is weird. This bike...
What do you mean?
Was this bike sold here in the States?
No, this was a Japanese product, and
they're
all imported, any of them that are here.
What I mean by weird, parking lock, no step, right?
Yeah.
Carrying point,
yeah.
Step. It's all in
Ignition,
English.
choke, oil. I mean, yeah, honestly, a lot of the pretty critical things on this are in English. Toward the back here, there's a pretty fantastic sticker that says untouchable with an exclamation point because you don't want to grab the bike from the bodywork back here. So this is untouchable. And of course, you have to be warned about your exhaust muffler right here. And by the carrying point, so there's metal under this bodywork, and right here, you have basically your tie down. So if you're strapping it down in the back of the car, or in my case, in the back of my big old
Cummins.
my 8-foot bed of my truck.
Now, Case, if you look in here too, a couple others just think ignition key.
Yep.
So does it have a steering lock too? Can you lock
It does.
Oh, look at that. And is it a fuel gauge?
That is the fuel gauge, and I can't really read what those characters on the fuel gauge say, but I assume that's empty and full.
So walk me through the powertrain on this. What's the engine?
So it's a 49cc two-stroke, 2.5 horsepower, 2.7 pound-feet of torque.
Wow.
Your fuel tank is here. Your oil tank is here. You can see a tiny little carburetor down there. I mean, there's not a whole lot to this bike. It's pretty simple. It's
automatic transmission, CVT?
Yeah, exactly. So there's no gears for you to shift through. This is just as simple as a little piece of transportation can be.
Well, let's do this, Case. I think we're going to do what all the audience wants us to do next. Why don't you fire it up and then go get some gear on and tell these folks what it's like to ride the foldable, tiny, tiny Honda.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It's actually kind of terrifying.
So show us the startup process. What do you have to do?
I mean, it's pretty simple. It likes some choke. At least this one likes some choke, but not a lot of throttle when you actually go to start it. A little kickstarter here on the left.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Wow, it's quiet.
It's about as quiet as a two-stroke gets.
Wow, look at that. And Alex, if you want to come back here, you can see it's got maybe the smallest exhaust I've ever seen. What are the brakes? Are they drums?
Yep.
Drum brakes?
Drum brakes. And what is the size on this? A 2.5 inch wide, 8-inch tire. So, yeah, pretty small wheels and tires. Part of the reason that this is a little terrifying to ride.
Wow.
But
Unreal.
this is just the most phenomenal vehicle that's ever been made.
Well, let's do this. Go gear up, and then I want you to tell me whether or not this is, more of a styling exercise or if it's an actually rideable machine.
Okay, so look, as goofy as it is, this is genuinely one of my dream bikes. A long time ago, Mighty Car Mods did that ever popular video on these Motocompos, and ever since I thought, man, that just looks like so much fun. And now that I've gotten it here, and Alex and I have spent a little bit of time with it, it genuinely does not disappoint. I mean, it's every bit as entertaining as I ever expected it to be. And honestly, for putzing around town where Alex and I live, this thing is awesome. I mean, it goes as fast as you realistically need it to. Here, I'll show you. And once we hop down onto the street here, we can actually open up the taps a little bit. I'll show you. It gets really loud at speed. Also, not the most stable bike, but we're going about 20 miles an hour. It's not spectacular, but this is enough to cruise around our little hometown where Alex and I live, and it just makes for a really fun, cool way to get around, to go from the house to the restaurant that's right down the road. And I know that a lot of you are thinking, these bikes are ridiculously expensive. They're definitely not worth the money. You know, it kind of depends on what you're into. I think it's worth it to me because I have more fun on this bike cruising around town than most of my big bikes. Now, definitely, yeah, some rattles when you're at speed. So I might try and put some foam down and see if I can't make a little bit of the trim quieter when I'm actually moving. But other than that, this is actually a pretty well-made bike. Also love the sound of a two-stroke. Honda really knew what was up back in the day. Oh, this bike is just... it's such a nice thing to be around. And yeah, the Speedo, it doesn't work at the moment. The cable is... yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't want to insert all the way into the hub. So I already have a new cable on the way, and then the Speedo will work. But you might be able to see there, the light works. I mean, not that you really need the Speedo that much. Not likely to be breaking the speed limit. So, call me crazy, but this is definitely a dream bike.
Okay, so let's fold it up like we just got done with our Japanese day job. We're about to go home. Stick it in the hatchback. What do you do first?
Well, I just went ahead and locked the forks, and then open this guy up, pop the seat down, unscrew the handlebars. I've found that it's easier to fold up the bars if I do the left one first, because then this right side handlebar can, with its Speedo, kind of sandwich on top there. And then, let's see, pop this guy open, tuck it in place there, and everything pops down, locks in place, and it's good to go. So, as little time as I've actually spent with this, it's a pretty easy process. And something that you might be thinking is, well, this bike is so light, it's very easy to steal, but they thought of this, Tommy.
Yeah?
You can lock it. You can lock it up to something.
Look at that.
I know.
So that's tied to like the frame?
Hell if I know, but you could like wrap it around a pole, you know, put a little lock on it. Boom. You have a secure motorcycle. Oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that's very secure by...
yeah, no, it's very secure.
modern day standards.
What doesn't look secure about that?
I think a dedicated person and a sharp pair of scissors would...
a sharp pair of scissors.
would really put an end to that. But that was really clever thinking. So now the question, will it fit in a modern day hatchback? The dog-sized motorcycle.
Yes.
So this is a Chevy Bolt. Now this was designed, you said, to fit in the Honda City.
Yes.
Back in the day. You want me to grab an end, or do you want to...
yeah.
oh, we should put that down maybe. There we go. Oh, look at that.
Wow. I mean, you don't have the tie-down system that the incredible Honda City had, but it does fit comfortably in the back of your Chevy Bolt.
Now, we did try it sideways. Doesn't quite fit sideways. In the Honda City, it actually fits bloop, right in the trunk.
Exactly.
But that is one of the coolest bikes I think we've ever featured on the channel.
I'm very excited about it. And the other cool thing, so, and this is a little shocking, these usually list online here in the States, because they all have to be imported, for about $6,500. I'm looking online, that's the average price. Alex and I managed to find this with an online auction for $3,750 is what we ended up getting it for, which is still a lot of money to pay for what is, at the end of the day, I mean, it's not much of a motorcycle, but in terms of having, as goofy as it is, one of our dream bikes, That's not a bad price to pay.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, I think that this is one of the coolest little gadgets out there, made by one of the most major motorcycle manufacturers in existence. And the only thing we need now is for Honda to make a new one.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Well, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below. This has been Tommy.
And Case.
Check out TFL Bike or alltfl.com for the latest and greatest in our new vehicle reviews.